to see these notes. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Bearded Bros Golf Show. I'm Rod.
And I'm Marcus.
We have a heck of a discussion list today. Lots of stuff happening in the world of golf. Kind of some ho-hum tournaments overall in terms of people chasing down leaders not really happening, and some big margins of victory. Some drama from earlier in the week. Drama over in France. As well as another first-time major winner and another first-time tournament winner on the PGA Tour. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. We'll talk about some of the stuff that happened throughout the week first, and then kind of trickle through some things. So over on the PGA Tour Canada, should I say North, we had Justin Dowden. Get caught up in a cheating scandal from the week prior. I'm going to bring up his tweet that kind of talks about his perspective. Hopefully we have no technical difficulties. Can you see that on the screen, Marcus?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So he's like, I'm here to confess of the biggest mistake I have made in my life to date. I have cheated in golf. This is not who I am. I let my sponsors down. I let my competitors down. I let my family down. I let myself down. I pray for your forgiveness, John 19, a case of the golf one, tagging a page that follows a lot of golf stuff. So if you weren't in tune with this story, essentially what Justin did was after his second round in the tournament, he had his competitors sign off on the card. And, people questioned it after the fact, after the scores were posted, that he came in 2 strokes lower than they had recalled. His competitors, they checked with the group scoring marker, and they also kind of attested to his score on a final hole with him carding a double bogey and him marking himself down for a par. Once everyone conferred and the score was confirmed, I guess at that point he felt like he could not dispute it at that point and then admitted to his mistake. So very rarely do you hear of someone, like, this is the first time I've ever heard someone just flat out cheating on the scorecard. The strange part was that he asked for the scorecard back after it had been signed and then went to work with that eraser. So what do you think about this, man? Like I said, first time I've heard of anything of this magnitude. I've heard of people finding balls and, doing stuff on course, but not in this after the scoring tent. What do you think?
Right. Very odd. And I think he kind of knew he was doing some goofy stuff because he ended up withdrawing from the tournament. Amidst the investigation, because they sure did investigate that right away. I mean, it was just really unhinged because I get it. Like, you're right on the precipice of something. So you are trying to make it. And so like he changed his scorecard to a par. And so that ended up making him make the cut. So he was going to be in the money. But in turn, 11 people, that's how much people missed the cut because he switched from a double to a par. That's crazy. Literally satanic. I don't even know how you're played it.
Yeah, not only are you kind of tilting things in your favor, you're also screwing over a lot of people.
Right. So qualifying points towards that next season, towards Q school, having not to go through certain stages because you've done enough throughout the season. And here he comes doing this. We both read the article. And so hopefully, PGA Tour Canada or PGA Tour, the head people step in and do what's needed because, when you're doing stuff like that, bro, like you need to take a break. You need to think about what's really important with life.
You need to reevaluate your life. Exactly.
You truly need to reevaluate, bro. I do not understand. And then I
didn't read the Bible verse. I have no idea what that Bible verse refers to. I'm sure it's for forgiveness, but to bring like God into this after the fact, bro, you're gonna need to walk on your own. And I don't know. I just hate that. It's so lame to me don't fall back on the religion thing after you've
Yeah,
done something so super malicious. And you may find Jesus for real in this time frame while you are sitting it out. He's looking at a year-long suspension, and like you said, I hope he gets every bit of that. um and just kind of has to work. I don't know. It just feels like at this point, his golf career may be a wrap, because I think it's going to be tough to come back from this. I don't
yeah,
know what sponsors would stick with him and continue to support him and kind of let him wade through this next year without playing golf. I,
yeah.
to me, it doesn't spell very well for his long term future. It's just one of
Right.
those mistakes that I don't think you come back from. Honestly, it's
Yeah.
so. I don't know, it's egregious. And how can people trust you? It's kind of the same reputation that a guy like Patrick Reed has gotten over time, is
I was
that
gonna say the same
you
thing.
you just don't get the benefit of the doubt anymore.
Exactly.
And this is just like a big event. It's not like kind of some incremental things that have this happened over here or this happened over there. It's just like, dude, you thought you could pencil whip everybody
Right.
and fake a tournament out and your fellow competitors. So, yeah, I hope he lives in the doldrums of golf. And I don't know, man. He's going to become maybe a mini tour legend, but it's not like we had heard of this dude before this, but he is infamous now.
Right. We will you will live on in the history of golf now, brother.
Yep. So, kind of parallel to this or similar, kind of talking about the rules of golf and etiquette, we've talked several times about slow play on this channel. We enjoy fast play. Get your plan together, get up to your ball, hit the ball, keep it moving. If you're playing bad that day, play bad fast. And so,
True.
over in France at the Evian, the LPGA major that was played this week, Carlotta Chanda, she originates from Spain. Been on the tour for several years. She's 33 years old. Has won a couple of tournaments. I think way back in 2016, but continuously near the top of the game. Contends on top tens quite often. Solheim player for the international team.
Yeah.
Was DQ'd. Would have ended up missing the cut, but her group was put on the clock on their 16th hole, and then on the 18th, it was determined that she was out of play, or the group was out of place, and she was the culprit in that. This is not her first bout with slow play. She ended up losing a tournament back in 2021 as a result of her slow play. And if you've ever watched her, again, she's super talented, just a super dynamic swing. However, she's deliberate, and I'll use Marcus's term, his politically correct term. She's deliberate. I call it slow, painfully slow, around the greens, making decisions over, shots in the fairway, slow. And here
Right.
she is. She chose to take the DQ because she said she would not mark down the two-stroke penalty that was assessed to her on her card, forcing the tournament to disqualify her from play. Again, she would have missed the cut anyway. Instead, it officially comes in as a DQ. What are your thoughts on this, man? I know you have some strong feelings.
Yeah, I think it's clown behavior. First of all, I think it's clown behavior. You're already gonna miss the cut. You're already not gonna make the weekend. Just take the two-shot penalty. Now I feel like in typical like Sergio, I'm a big baby form, I feel like she's like, just because I was the one that got caught, it's not my fault, even though you very blatantly were all put on the clock. So once everybody is put on the clock, then we see who's the slow player. We weren't even
Yeah,
gonna we weren't even gonna individually call you out. You called yourself out
yeah,
in the whole situation. And again, now if you want to take it down this way and down this road, Miss Saganda, and be the person that's DQ'd instead of just taking a slow play penalty, so be it. Now, however you want to say you feel like you took like your pride or whoop de woo, congrats. But you're the slow player. You just need to own up to it. There is just certain things that you already need to have done as a pro player. And again, it's just like you already know because you did the practice rounds. And this is again one of those courses that we come to every year. You already know
Mhm.
what's going to happen. They didn't do many renovations. It's not like they changed the yardages drastically. It's not like they changed the fairways drastically. You hit the same fade every time down. What would be the slow up here? The conditions on Friday weren't bad. The conditions on Thursday
Yeah.
weren't bad. It's not like we got into a situation on Saturday or Sunday where we pushed tee times up or we had to, deal with wind and whatnot, backing off of shots because it's blustery. That wasn't the case on Friday. It was sunny and clear skies. Like again, I'm trying to
Yeah.
I'm trying to
It's
understand how this would even happen where you would need to slow play this. I just don't get
yeah.
it.
Yeah, and so Jessica Korda, who did not play, she's out with a back injury this year, defended. She didn't mention Carlotta Segunda directly, but just as a player and said don't blame the players for slow play, which I think is just kind of BS. And I get it. You want to stand up for your fellow
Terrible.
players. But 6+ hour rounds to me, despite whatever the weather conditions are, right? I think they were getting rounds in the Open last week without, while it was raining and having to keep balls and clubs and all kinds of stuff dry. They were able to
Mhm.
play in sub 6 hours, and so nothing that severe was happening in France this week, and so it's just kind of BS. I hate that we even have to defend slow play. I think that if more tours took an aggressive stance and we've talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we talked about Patrick Cantlay,
Yeah.
like make the clock visible. I don't know, add another walking scorer that has a clock. And so as a player hits in front of them and they become on the
Mhm.
clock rolls and it's visible. And I think
Yeah.
for this point, I was looking for this. I wasn't going to give her opinion credence on this, but I'm going to show it. And so let me pull up her post on her Instagram page that she stated, because I think there was one point that matters here. Let me pull this up. It's just aggravating. I don't know. It just grinds my gears. I'm gonna go all
No,
Peter
truly.
Griffin here.
No, 100%.
So let's see if that came up. It did. So Carlotta Segunda on her, assuming she pulled this from her Twitter. I got a few messages about the DQ from yesterday. I want to be very clear, and the reason I did not sign a 7 on the last hole is because I don't think, I'm going to emphasize think, I took 52 seconds like the rules official said. I had a 10-footer on the last hole, last putt, and the group behind, they were not even on the tee on a par 3. When it comes to slow play, to me, what happens with the groups around you does not matter, right?
Right.
It matters in your relation to the group in front of you and your own pace of play. You should not be worried about what's happening behind you. Maybe the group behind you should have been also assessed a penalty. Who knows if they had been playing at a decent pace all day and fell behind a little bit on that particular hole. Um, Very poor performance from the LPGA rules official. They don't understand what professional golf is about. Um, they only look at their stopwatch like if 20 seconds is going to make a difference. I had family and friends watching, and they all said it was impossible. I took that long to hit that putt. Yeah, they're in your corner. They're gonna side with you. Yesterday was tough out there with windy conditions and difficult pins, and I wish everyone gets treated the same and don't pick on the same players all the time. That's all. So much there to digest. So much there
Bring
to
it back up
digest.
one more time, right? Just bring it back up one more
Okay.
time.
Yep.
Because
Absolutely.
because we can dissect this just from the jump. Like I feel like a parent. Like I feel like you can't be saying that. No, like what? Okay, so first of all, because I don't think I took 52 seconds like the rules official said. Okay, all right, bro. That's what you think.
Yeah.
As soon as they feel
Do
like
we have
somebody has finished their turn, it's your turn. What are we talking about?
and And I think here's this part of it. The rules official knows the consequence of issuing somebody a two-stroke penalty. Do you
But
I would personally think they would be very diligent about making sure that it was truly 52 seconds
I
to
feel like they
complete your
honestly
stroke.
would try to be lenient because they understand the weight of this putt or whatnot. I feel like they'd honestly try to be lenient because if you have
Yeah.
an exact number like 52, they were like, it's really like 110. But if you want, I'm gonna just say 52. I'm gonna
Right.
just say 52 to kind of save face for you, bro. Just to on the, just being honest with you, bro. Because that's what I would have said if like you wanted to get my perspective on it. Fine, but again, this is major golf. This is major tournament golf. So you want the pins to be ho hum in the middle? The pins are
Right.
designed for major golf, for major winnings. It's not going to be the Dow Lakes Invitational pins. What are we talking about, bro? Like, again,
Center of greens, yeah, 25 on,
they're not gonna
10
put it
from
in
the
the
left.
ball, right? You're
Yeah.
not gonna want to score. You're gonna try to maintain, take advantage when you can. Like it's, again, strategic major golf. You know what?
Right.
I'm not gonna even justify getting angry
So
about that.
I
But
know, but even as a comparison, we can legitimately break down the statement. I was like, why'd you
seriously,
even take the time to type this out? So today, as a comparison, the British Senior Open over in Wales today. I mean, wins that were
40 mile an
nuts.
hour wins.
And honestly, I watched ended up watching the playoff with Patrick Harrington and Alice Checa, and they were going through their routine, and it's a routine for a reason, and still getting off putts in a decent amount of time with crazy wins. So to
Right.
tell me that the wins that occurred on Friday afternoon were even comparable and affecting your play on the greens, I'm sorry. It wasn't, honestly, it's not that much of an evaluation as it relates to wind. Read your
Yeah.
line, figuring out the pace. Are you downwind? Is the wind coming against you? Yeah, it can absolutely affect putts. But does it take a full minute to do that when you have time with your playing partners doing their thing to evaluate those aspects of the game? You're just not ready to play when it's your turn. It's
Exactly.
plain and simple. It's plain and simple. And then the stopwatch or something about 20 seconds or whatever. I think that's just bull crap. Who cares about your friends and family being there? Like, like you said, oh my God, like you said, you gonna do this in front of my family, dog?
Right, bro. Don't do this. Don't do this, fam. Oh, they don't understand what professional golf is about, bro. What? They
I
they
think they
literally
do.
following the rules of golf. What
I know, and I
the,
know we can be critical of these organizations sometimes, but stop when you have a history of this. Please do not try to scapegoat the organization that you play
exactly.
with and under when you are the one that is problematic. At some point, we all have to take personal accountability for our actions, and slow play is one of those things. And you know, I I've always been kind of neutral on her. I mean, she gets a lot of TV and airtime just because she is competitive,
Yeah.
but this kind of like dunks it for me. Like I just can't ride with her, and not that it matters, but I will be rooting against her. Like you're just gonna show your butt. You're just gonna completely show your whole ass on the internet and call out the organization, and I don't know, to me upstage the event. And so,
Right. I feel like you're
ultimately
making
here
the
we are,
scene.
100%, and intentionally to take
Right.
the DQ versus the miscut, and you're taking away from a winner of this tournament. Here it is. We've talked extensively about this because it's so outrageous that Celine Boutier, who wins her first major on her home soil,
On
you
soil.
know, she won it going away, and it really wasn't in question. And she's a fantastic player who's been kind of nipping at the bud for quite some time. So
Definitely.
great to see her win. But again, it just feels like this incident has taken kind of center front. It's we talk about the attention that women's golf is sometimes missing but there's so many articles on this particular incident right now, and it's getting so much burn that a win of
Just
someone, a win
overshadowed.
of a lifetime for somebody is 100%.
Yeah.
I think that's complete bullshit. And you
Yeah.
can just, I don't know, again, to post on it after the tournament versus, maybe let the tournament end and then post your kind of feelings and then talk about it. It's just,
Right.
it's selfish to me and
Very.
very babyish and does feel like you mentioned Sergio Garcia. And just kind of look at me, look at what's going on with me type of crap. So, like, poo poo to her, two thumbs down for her behavior and slow play. Both of those things.
You trying to have, like, again, this is the last of it for me. You're trying to make a reasonable statement. You're trying to defend yourself. Why are we not remaining calm? There should not be any exclamation points in this statement at all. And the
No.
one exclamation point you have is involving your fam and friends. So you
Yeah.
even more emphasizing that they lie in your favor.
Look,
What?
and nobody's gonna defend you like family, but
I
this
wish
ain't the
everyone
time.
gets treated the same. What does that sound like to you? I'm gonna leave it alone, man. Congrats to Celine Boutier and her
Yes.
victory on at the crib.
Yeah.
Just
And a side note, shout out to PXG getting a major win.
here
Everybody's
you go. Here you go.
everybody's whipping boy. Shout out to PXG with the win.
Congrats, I guess,
Uh,
man.
and also on this webpage, shout out to Live Golf trying to advertise their ass off for the
CW, by the
Greenbrier
way.
event
Watch live on
on the
CW.
CD. Watch live if you can get it in your local area.
Right.
So,
If you even
man,
have that TV channel.
oh man, it's Carlotta Chanda took up so much air on this show already. Um, damn, there was so much news this week. Beginning of the week, first week back, Jay Monahan was pretty quiet on the news front. Came out firing this week with a memo
Yep.
to players talking about updates to the Saudi deal and also stating that they would not support the proposed USGA ball rollback and RNA backed as well, bucking both of those organizations. Um, I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure, Jay Monahan and the PGA Tour, they need some wins right now.
And need to
Um,
save face. Yep.
they need something, right? Outside of Rory, there's not been many players in support of a ball rollback. And so this was probably a winning strategy, and probably one that kills this thing just with the weight and support or lack of support from the PGA Tour for the
Yeah.
ball rollback. What do you think? Do you think it changes anything? What are your opinions, one way or another, on if it impacts it or if it kills it, the proposal altogether?
I mean, I hope it kills it, but I mean, again, you know how orgs go. I mean, sometimes the drawbacks don't even matter. They already had it going anyway, so they're gonna keep going with it, which I am afraid of. I hope cooler heads prevail and they understand like this is just there's so many other avenues to get lower scores or more competitive, more evened out, however you may want to say it. But even in the playing field, I don't know. But again, this is one of the household games that we've always been able to relate to pros about, and they're trying to take that away from us. Oh no, y'all can play that. Yeah. So now y'all are hitting 320 drives with this souped up ball, and the pros are hitting it 290. What am I gonna say? I hit it further than pros because that's flat. That's false. Don't even
Right,
like
right.
again. I just don't even want to get into that ballpark, bro. It's taken away what's already been established. We got the Balata ball out. That feathery, just complete shit fire of a ball. We finally got something that's regulated, and they want to take that away. I just again, this is
Yeah.
could just I
I
hope
think
I hope it
they
heals.
were talking about. I think I don't know what year it was last week in the Open. They were saying that up until a certain point, there was a different size ball played um, in the Open, and that kind of trying to compare and contrast this ball rollback deal to that, and saying, okay, it could happen. But again, manufacturers are going to have to put in a lot of money to research a kind of, what do you call it, regulated ball. And I
Right.
don't think, like you said, that's so stupid that there's a potential of amateurs being able to hit it beyond pros just for the sake of controlling the game. Again, I mean, there's events like this week at the 3M where they're going to have mid 20s scoring. It was a pretty straightforward course. The pins weren't incredibly difficult. The greens were soft. You're going to have play like that. It's meant to be a fun event, to have scoring.
Right.
But we've seen this year where setup can control anything that you want to control it. And it doesn't have
Truly.
to be fun house, tricked up golf for that to happen. Just some, different green conditions. They don't have to be overly hard or, overly slow. They can figure that out. Where you put the pins, grow up the rough,
Yeah.
all kinds of different things. Change the angulation of tee boxes where
Right.
you have to hit shaped shots. And right now we know pretty much everybody, for the most part, is comfortable with fades. You see so many fades off the tee on the PGA Tour. Throw some draws in there, right? Make
Yeah.
them hit shots that they're uncomfortable with. Make the
Hmm.
game different. We've seen course design be able to defend against modern links, and you don't have to stretch every course out. And I feel like
True.
people, uncreatively just started doing that forever. It's like, buy some more land, add some, different tee
Right.
boxes further back. You see that with the Masters, and at the end of the day, you can just design it better. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that the PGA Tour came out against this finally, officially, but I feel like they kept this one in their back pocket because one, they need some positive press at this point and some
Right.
PR in the locker room with the players before there was an all-out mutiny. So, shout out
Facts.
to them for getting that stuff together. We'll see where things go if it gets continued to push forward from the USGA and RNA. It may
Yeah.
come to limited events. We'll see. Um, One little kind of more BS topic before we get into DJ Khaled. Um, so Justin Thomas, man, I don't know how to place it or what's going on with him. It got me thinking about this a little more deeply or differently, and kind of I'm curious of your thoughts on this. And I haven't
Hmm.
even proposed this to you, but new beard. He's got a structured beard. Usually, we're used to Justin Thomas with the kind of scruffy beard, unedged, and just kind of looks like he just rolled out of bed look. But
Yeah.
came this week with the structured beard. What do you think about him being part of the Bearded Bros? Does he get acceptance? Is it acceptable, or is it still kind of lame-o on him? What do you think?
If it's connecting, I'm all welcoming. If it's
Okay,
connecting,
long as
I'm all
he
welcoming,
long as he
brother.
can get this part growing in, right? He's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right, so he
Welcome.
passes there. You mentioned that I didn't catch this is as a new putter, and one thing that I did catch is that he also has a new backswing routine. Now, sometimes feel versus real. It's very flat when he's taking it back. We know JT to have a very upright backswing. Drops it down in the slot. His new routine has him kind of coming really kind of where Ricky Fowler used to be, very
Yeah.
flat with the hands. Now, when he does take it back on the actual swing, he's not that flat. It's somewhere in between where he used to be and this new routine. What do you think about players changing their swing, right? And
Yeah.
making swing overhauls. He's not been someone who's often injured. So it doesn't seem like it's related to that. Him having to fight against something that's going on with his body and needing to preserve it, like we saw with Ricky Fowler.
Hmm.
But this swing change doesn't seem to be it's kind of typical results, right? You're not seeing him play his best golf. He missed the
Yeah,
cut, and this week he looked like he couldn't get over the hump. He was under par, but just could not get over the hump and make this
yeah.
cut. What do you think about his swing change and players overall choosing to just blow up their swings and mid career, even in the midst of some success, change what's been working?
Um, think from a player like JT, with his dad being his coach for forever, feel like JT was kind of trying to get. I mean, I feel like he was able to move the ball both ways, high, low, left to right, right to left, but felt like it
Hmm.
was kind of a force to get him to hit a draw or like squeeze a draw out. So, in honesty, it might just be a way for him to kind of, get it more easily in the slot at the top so he can reroute it to where it's easier to hit a draw or easier to hit a fade or feel like he's not having to come up off his toes so much, be a little bit more grounded. I mean, other than that, I don't really understand why he would do too much to his swing. I mean, it's pretty foolproof just based on his body type and what his body needs to produce to get him to, make these shots and still hit the ball pound for pound as far as he does. So it might just be something you work on at the end of the season, hopefully, because, he only has there's the Wyndham event and then it's the playoffs. So, what, why not now? You mess around, you make the cut, you get it in the playoffs, cool, whatever. You get a few more weeks to work with it. But on this trajectory, doesn't even look like he's making the Ryder Cup, so he got plenty of time to work on it. So it might be something he's trying to
Yeah,
do in the off season and just go ahead and get the ball rolling on that. But I don't know if it's
I
going to
don't
be
know.
that big of a overhaul, but as far as in general with players making swing overhauls, it's clear it does not work unless it's for injury prone players because everybody ain't Tiger and everybody ain't no just crazy brainiac to be able to change swings and have four primes. Let's just go ahead and throw that out now.
Right. I mean, physically, it's tough for your body. I
To
mean, the
rethink and
repetition,
rewire itself, you have
100%.
to
I
go
mean, it is.
through so many reps because we all know it. How long did it take for us to get the right swing positions and stuff like that? I mean, it took us years of practice. And then me and Rod, if y'all don't know, chat and viewers, me and Rod are definitely perfectionists when it comes to golf. And we're not trying to embarrass ourselves. So there's a lot of times in the beginning where we'd literally be on the range. We're not going to the course to embarrass ourselves. And I think we even made like a pact at one point. We were like 6 months in. We were playing at a course in Houston. Yep, I'll go ahead and go with the story real quick. Clear Creek. We played on Saturday. We quit early. Shout out Kevin. Shout out John. They wanted to donate golf balls so we could go ahead on and finish the round. And we were like, we are way too embarrassed. We're gonna go ahead and take it on in. Then Herman, we went to Academy, bought like some refurbished, like a bucket of balls or something like that. It was
Right.
pretty damn
Right when you
bad.
could get mojos, like the 20
Yeah,
pack of
24 pack.
mojos.
Yeah, we got the 24 pack because I was like, we're not going down that bad. But we got the mojos, made it all the way through Herman Park. And we were like, hey, look, let's grind it a little bit. We don't ever want that to happen again. And we sure
Right.
enough went to the range and it was like, yeah. So we had some range chronicles, guys. There's nothing wrong with digging it out. But just know it takes
Get out the
hella,
mud.
yeah, it takes hella
And,
reps. And I know these
and that
pros
was
be
just
going through
for
that
us.
shit too.
And that was just for us to be able to play on the course. So imagine the high standards that a pro has to,
Right.
you know, they're used to seeing the ball exit through a certain window, being able to hit a spot
Sound.
on the green. Yeah, it's just so many things that they're looking for. I mean, the
Mhm.
Ricky Fowler swing change was 2 years in the making, right? And we're
Right.
just now seeing the results of that.
Yep.
He's
Just
been
now reaping the
grinding it out.
benefits.
Yeah, we were thinking like Ricky was about to go take that live money. He was playing so damn bad, but still had
Right.
the name recognition and was like about to go capitalize off of that. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I hate that JT decided to try to do this. this late in the season, and
True.
I don't know if it's going to bear the fruit that he thinks it is, versus saying, "Hey, this is my swing. There's nothing fundamentally flawed about my swing. Maybe
Yeah.
I can make some tweaks. Maybe I can, change, some small things. But even though we just see it as a kind of practice backswing, we know there's something deeper that he's working on, trying to flatten that plane out a little bit or whatnot. So I don't know, man. We'll see if it bears fruit next year, if he's able to work on it. Now that we don't have the wraparound season, he will get that time to kind of just grind it out in Florida or wherever he's practicing. We'll see if it comes to that.
Right.
What'd you see in the putter? I didn't even notice the change. And at that point, he'd already missed the cut when you brought it up. So what was he playing before it, or what is he playing now?
He's playing like a super face balance putter, but I mean, custom made. He was even talking about it. He was like, "Yo, no, I'll do whatever I need to do. As far as putting goes, like I'll use whatever as long as it's Scotty Cameron brand." And Scotty
Hmm.
whipped him up a face balance putter. And again, if you look at his putter that he had before, it was a Phantom 5 or a Phantom something like that. But it was the claw mallet, like with the two fangs, so you could tell it was
Yeah.
something that was already something to get him to straight back, straight through, helping with the alignment, helping with the start line. And I guess if that all fails, just give me something that I know the face is going to stay straight on. Because, I mean, you could just, I mean, I'm not saying he's robotic, but he's definitely not like a feel artist type putter where
Yeah.
he can let it open up and close back and he's going to start it online. So I think that's
Okay, I
kind of
see
what
what
he
they
was trying to
did.
do. Yeah.
I see it. It's like I'm gonna pull it up here. It's like a little. They did a mod almost to this putter to fill in. It's like adding some additional weight. Let's see here. Share screen. So that should be coming up here. So yeah, there's like an insert. The overall shape is very similar, right? So you see the two
Yeah.
fangs coming off of that putter. A lot of weight happening here. So you see the two circular weights already, and those are it's kind of standard fare for that type of putter. But then you see this black insert here. So now over the top, this looks like a pretty much like a solid mallet putter. So it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy that to change the look up like that. I mean, I totally get it, but like I currently am right now, I feel like I'm in the middle of a putting slump, and went back to a tailor-made spider just for a different look, change some weights on it. So I get it. I totally understand when you want to tinker. We saw that when Ricky switched to his putter, and then pretty much the entire PGA Tour, half the PGA Tour, followed suit and started kind of playing a similar putter style. So I think people are going to that. People are going away from the, Scotty Cameron Newport and adding some of these heavier, kind of bigger putters these days. It's an interesting
Yeah.
transition in the game, but it's
I mean, a
becoming way
lot of these
popular.
guys, yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of these guys, I feel like are just a little less prideful when it comes to the looks of things and stuff like that. Like they don't, I don't, I need to make this work. I don't need to make a blade work. Whatever's helping me make putts, I'ma use. And so that's
Right.
what these kids is going to. And kudos to them for real, because when there's millions on the line, I'm gonna go with what works as long as it's legal.
Yeah. It don't have
So
to look
I get
pretty.
it. Mhm. I get it for sure.
All right. So I thought long and hard about this particular topic that I'm about to bring up, but I feel like golf, and I want to choose my words very carefully here. It does have an access problem, right? Like I don't believe everything requires quote unquote diversity, and that's not the point. But it has an access problem, right? So you can buy cheap clubs, you can go play at your local muni. Is the game still more expensive than a lot of sports? Yeah, so let's say we grew up on stick and ball sports. So you have a basketball in your possession. You can go find a basketball hoop, and your barrier to entry is what? Free.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, you just show up at the court, you play. You play football, you have a football, you find an open piece of grass, you can toss the football around, play, etc. Golf, no matter what you do, every part of it has a cost to it. And so that doesn't allow for everybody to play. And I'm not saying that everybody necessarily should be playing golf, but DJ Khaled made some interesting comments this week that I have a problem with for a couple of different reasons. And it's because it's the most unfocused message that you could imagine when trying to advocate for anything, right? So we know
Yeah.
DJ Khaled's been trying to get into golf for quite a while, and that's cool, right? We always say the more eyes that are on golf means more
Yeah.
courses have popularity, are able to stay open. We don't see golf courses closing across the country, etc. There's more money being poured into the game, more R&D. It becomes cool to play golf. You know, more people that look like you are able to play golf. That's cool. It's not a requirement, and that's why I say there's an access issue. But the way he goes about it is kind of bullshit. So I'm gonna pull this up on the screen. So we have this man, the nemesis in my eyes, DJ Khaled, right down the middle. Hand me my putter. If you watch any level of golf Instagram, you have heard his voiceovers, and so ESPN's I'm gonna say Mr. Kumar writes that DJ Khaled wants to play on the PGA Tour. Immediately, I was just like, "What?"
Immediately no.
Immediately, no.
Immediately no.
Khaled, Khaled, 47, aged 47, who has recently picked up the game. I want to emphasize that in the last few years, and is severely overweight. I want to also talk about that as well. Is convinced he'll help break down barriers in golf to make the sport more diverse, and that he'll eventually play on the PGA Tour. It's extreme. It's an extremely tall order. Will it change anything? I don't know, but I do know there's something profound about people of color having this much fun on a golf course. That's fine. People, and this is where it turns kind of silly to me. And then it's already unfocused with him talking about trying to play on the PGA Tour. But people are riding around in circles, people munching on Jamaican jerk chicken, people hollering at each other from across the course. There's no fear of being told you're too loud or that you're doing too much, something that worries me in mostly white spaces. Maybe Khaled can't transform golf any more than Tiger Woods couldn't, but he has transformed this course. I'm assuming where they did this interview on this afternoon. He's claimed golf. So I also have a problem with the author and the way that they kind of, I don't know, it's like a throwaway line there at the end. Again, this is to me not advocacy. This is almost to the point of a character, a minstrel show. Just it's clownish. Jerk chicken and riding around in circles and yelling. I don't know, man. I don't see anybody out here advocating for that. And maybe that's my circle's too small. Like I have a pretty lively group of dudes that I play golf with, right? It's a bigger group, like to have fun. But at the end of the day, everybody's typically respectful of other people's, space on the golf course. If you're over a ball, you don't want to hear a bunch of yelling, loud music. If you're serious about the game, there's a bunch of places you can go party and bullshit. I just don't know if the golf course to me is a place for that. There's tons of fun that I have out there, but it doesn't involve yelling or eating spicy meat on the golf course. What do you think, man? I don't know. I'm so kind of over the buffoonery. And maybe I've seen this coming for a while, but this kind of jumps the shark.
Rod, I'm really like I'm shaking almost like I'm really trying not to lose my shit right now because this is some of the most bullshit I've ever seen in my life about the game of golf. First of all, this is not helping with accessibility. First of all, DJ Khaled is a multi-millionaire, almost a billionaire, all the hookups in the world to Nike Golf, Jordan Golf, TaylorMade, all his shit's free. This is not helping accessibility. Second of
Mm-mm.
all, the places Khaled can play, my boy Jamal can't play. I can't play. That's not helping accessibility. Again, if we're talking about
Correct.
diversity, if we're talking about getting us on the court, on the course, or even on the range, or even in the pro shop, that's not helping accessibility. That is not helping diversity. That is helping DJ Khaled anyways. So that's point number one. Point number two,
Right.
like, first of all, that's off rip. Second of all, DJ Khaled is 47, and like you mentioned, he is not in the best shape. Now, again, anybody that watches this show or anybody that is even a casual golfer knows this is an athletic game. The game has been athletic, and there is no room for out of shape PGA players like that, because they're not even going to make it through 72 holes, let alone 36, let alone 18 walking with a caddy.
Yes.
Again, so that's another strike off the list. Third, nobody's saying that we don't like having a fun time on the course. There is plenty of avenues for you to enjoy yourself, with whether it be with libations or with music. Keep it to your group, though. You can talk
Yeah.
and play golf regularly and casually, and it'd be fine. I've played for bread with the homies. We've been talking in the middle of the backswings. It's no problem. It's what we're used to. It's what we do. It's not what everybody on the course is used to. It's not what everybody on the course is governed to. Again, if you keep it in within your confines of your friendship, your friend group, and your hole that you're on, perfectly fine. No beef with that. No qualms with that. But when it comes to yelling from hole 9 to hole 11 because you saw Vicente out there or you saw Steve out there, what are we talking about, bro? Why are we talking about, again, this to me, I feel like I don't even want this to be like on like just like it's such a major level to me, because I feel like this is low-key prejudice. Like
It's pandering. It's pandering.
like, why are we talking about jerk chicken? I
know.
just want
That's
to
what
fight, bro. I just want to fight.
it's like what somebody would imagine that he uses himself as a person of color. It's like what somebody would assume somebody that's a person of color would like. And it's
Right.
not.
It's not, bro.
Like it's you're listening to two people that play golf and like to have fun, and like we clown, like we have
Yeah.
fun, but what he's talking about is buffoonery to me.
Truly a
and
clown show.
and so like you said, it almost feels like he's clowning, and it's like I don't like that as the representation, and even in general is a fucking
Exactly.
toxic place. But the comment section underneath this post was so infuriating that I had to just like bow out, because it was people who like take him serious, and like this is a reason that diversity is bad, and it's like this is not what people are asking for.
At
And
all.
for him to have the biggest megaphone, or not the biggest, a megaphone, to be able to screen this stuff from the mountaintops and be a representative. I didn't
Right.
elect DJ Khaled as the homie in chief of people of color golf organization.
Yeah, he
I
is not
didn't
my
elect
answer.
him. So it just aggravates me that he has gotten like, dude, I'm all for people again exposing golf to the masses and others that may not have been engaged or aware of it, right? We
Exactly.
always talk about we would have loved to have played golf growing up. It just wasn't even a thing. So like this week is a good example. My daughter went to First Tee. This program is 25 years old. And so imagine that
I'm
at this point,
35. You're
I'm
40.
20, I'm at
Yeah.
41, right? So I would have been
Right.
15, 16 at its inception. So it isn't like First Tee blew up and was all over the country out of nowhere, right? At that point, we were
Exactly.
pretty deep into our sports careers and just doing what we were doing. And so for this, dude to just kind of become the representative of what golf should look like in terms of growing the game, I don't, like you can use that influence to help again fund First Tee, which I think is an amazing
Right.
organization to grow the game, grow people's life skills. And a lot of those people, when they come through First Tee and do it for several years, it isn't the golf that they end up doing professionally, or so a lot of them play collegiately, but they go on to successfully have careers and
Right.
expand their lives, and that's to me the biggest advantage of golf, as is the people interaction and the people that you meet on the golf course and the opportunities that it affords you. And
Yep.
that's where to me golf has grown, not being a goddamn clown out there on the links and
Right.
just like turning it into a club. I'm pretty sure he's a member of a country club somewhere. Dude, that's what the clubhouse is for you to socialize and have a good time and enjoy yourself, maybe foolishly, whatever, right? You can enjoy yourself with the guys at that
Yeah.
point. But I don't know. His interpretation of that and the whole thing about being able to, be able to make the PGA Tour is delusional.
It
And
truly
to
is.
me, I mean, his golf game is about as mid as his music is to me. I hadn't listened to a DJ Khaled album since, like, what is it, The Keys or whatever that one was. That's the
Right.
last one that I've actually paid attention to because he's mediocre. It's like low effort,
He is a
content on the golf
facilitator.
course. He's a facilitator, and
So
at this
he needs to
point,
be
if he's
facilitating the right
facilitating
people.
golf, he's the worst.
Exactly.
Yes, put people in place that can better be a representative
Yeah.
of your vision. But again, that statement was like the most all over the place statement. And at
So
the end of the day,
inflammatory.
I'm gonna say this with the most disrespect.
Right.
Fuck
You do
DJ
not speak
Khaled.
for you do not speak for me, bro. 100%, bro.
So I
Let me just
just,
say two
yeah, I
more things,
like,
right? Let me just say
yeah,
two more things real quick. First of all, again, golf, heat, sun exposure, athletic, Caribbean jerk chicken, one of the heaviest foods ever. That shit don't even make sense, bro. Give me a wrap, bro. Give me like a little. I mean, anyways, we're gonna go past that. We're gonna go past that. I'm not
okay,
gonna get hung up on that. If we're
okay,
talking about accessibility and the right kind of influencer, again, now is he always right? No. But is he a better representation of what we're trying to represent and get out there as far as like people of our hue? I would say Roger Steele is a better influencer and facilitator of golf to coolness or whatever you want to call
yeah,
it than DJ Khaled ever will be. And again, Roger Steele has been in the game for a very long time. Dad, PGA coach, dad, police officer, Roger
yeah,
Steele
doing the
shoots
work,
in the
doing
70s
the work,
regularly.
doing the
I
work
mean,
in the community.
exactly. Comes back to Chicago where he's from to help his dad run a golf camp all summer. Well, not maybe not. He's not there all summer, but he is very much there for multiple weeks to help out and reach out to his community. Again, I feel like even Eric Lottery is a better representation. Now, he is the one that's like, yo, I'm not necessarily built for this game, but I'm gonna make it look cool and I'm gonna get us out there. And every person that he's been out there has been cool as a rule. I mean, whether it be his original guys, the names are slipping me right now because they're all
Yeah,
cool names. But like again, and then he bring in every shade. He brought the Bubba Sparks looking guy that was fully tatted, cool. He bought the guy that looked like his name was Billy Joe. Then he got the guy that looked like his name was Hakeem. He got the whole boat. Again, if DJ Khaled didn't have so much damn money, we wouldn't be talking about this shit. The right people need to be in this situation with the right money. Roger Steele, I need you to get your money up, my boy. Please.
yeah. Well, it's not even that. I hope that
Get
he
in the right doors.
continues.
Yeah, keep doing it,
No,
please.
no, and I think Roger Steele is heading in the right direction in terms of his influence and big time with Nike, with
Callaway, he's been doing
Callaway.
the on the range, CBS
Yeah,
network. He was just picked up. He
he
was
kind
doing on course interviews and
It
stuff.
kind of. I just saw a YouTube video the other day, a little crossover with like True Links Wear with Joel Damon. So he's getting out there, right? We've been
Right.
aware of him for a while, and Callaway's giving him some burn, and so I think that he'll get there, right? But as you know, sometimes serious contributors do not get the credit, and it's easier to push forward some tomfoolery rather than people who are actually doing the work.
Very true.
And
Very true.
maybe that is part of the thing with golf, right? Maybe golf has always been its kind of own thing and wanted to be alone, and so pushing forward a fool helps kind of block legitimate inclusion into the game. So maybe I'm thinking about that way too deeply or whatnot. But at the end of the day, shout out to Roger Steele and double thumbs down to DJ Khaled for their involvement. Keep playing the game, but shut up in terms of talking about diversity. You're not developed or deep enough to have an opinion and represent that side of the equation sufficiently. So,
I just feel like
um,
you need a few more experiences before you can speak for a whole entire group of people.
yeah, and we have a comment. DJ Khaled, love the energy, but the game sucks. And yeah, I mean,
Agreed.
I was all for it, and I think the reason, like, I've thought about talking about DJ Khaled before, especially as his profile has grown and kind
Yeah.
of the sounds on Instagram have blown up.
Right. The
But
sound bites and
the
shit. Yeah.
comments this week just really pushed me over the edge in terms of the clownery and this foolishness that comes with him. So yeah, and that's it, right? We talked about him being overweight and having clownish ideas, but his game is horrible. Like,
It's literally
nobody
trash.
cares about you hitting it 215 straight off the tee. That's not going anywhere. That probably wouldn't even pass in either one of our golf groups.
No.
So in addition to him being limited in talent, and having bad takes on diversity in golf. Thanks, Tigers Mundo, for the comment. But yeah, man, don't get me started on this DJ Khaled shit. There's other clownish stuff out here in the world of golf that we could probably hit on, but I think we have we have both driven our blood pressure up sufficiently enough for today.
Yeah. Please.
I know. I mean, damn. I mean, we've been on it for a little close to an hour now. Talked about the ball rollback. We talked about JT. Talked about the PGA Tour Canada cheating scandal, the Evian Championship with Celine Boutier getting her first major, as well as
Yeah.
Carlotta Chanda being a complete dud and donkey of the week, rallying against the LPGA rules officials. DJ Khaled sucks. Just wrap that one up. What else? I do want to bring this one up. We talked about it a little bit earlier. So, brutal conditions on the Senior British Open. You know, 5 under
Five
was
over.
or no, excuse
Five
five
over
over. Excuse me,
got
five
into a playoff.
over. There were plus 22s that I saw.
Yeah.
I want to see the highest score. What do you think about that type of golf, man? That's brutal. I know JT, speaking of him, he was on Twitter advocating it while he was sitting at home this weekend. What are your thoughts on those type of scores and uh, golf that couldn't break par?
I am not. I am not unopposed to crazy golf conditions. You know me. I'll play in whatever as long as it's not raining. Rain is just after being in the industry, bro. I'll play another day. That is my forever now. Like, I love golf. I'm a lifer. I will play in 105 long as it's some like I can like give me some waters, couple bits of
Yeah.
shade, little breeze, keep me involved. But like rain, I can't do it, bro. I'm already too wet. Pause. Oh, pause. But I produce way too much moisture as it is. I do not need any more as far as rain goes. Now, if
Yeah.
we have the multi compounds, so like no glove, little rain sprinkling off and on, spattering, cool. I could even do that. But like 40 consistently blowing rain into you, I
No.
miss me
Count
kind
me
of,
out.
please.
Well,
Yeah, miss
yeah,
me,
anything in
please.
the 40s. I can do 40s in sun, 40s in any kind of
Right.
moisture in the air. Even if I just can't do it. That's it. That's a deal breaker.
No, no.
So
I'll do three club
the
wins, two club wins. I don't care. We'll play windy golf. It's fine.
Rich
whatsoever.
Beam plus 25, shot an 84 today. I'm looking for a 90. I see a 89 that was shot today.
Mm,
89 on the and low score, I think was YE Yang, shot a 71. Like
even par.
that's crazy, man. On that course, and really what took him out was round three, YE Yang had an 81. Otherwise,
Yeah,
he would have been in contention. Um, he shot 71, 72, 81, and then 71. So yeah, man, I don't know. It was interesting to see that one come down to a playoff and see them battle it out, and it was cool because they were ended up kind of downwind with a down to
yeah,
kind of right
downwind
to
par
left wind
five.
helping them. Yeah, they were both getting on or approaching the green for eagle opportunities, and just unfortunately, Patrick Harrington looked like he ran out of steam and kind of duffed a chip and wasn't able to get up and down for a birdie. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know if I could watch that week in, week out. Sometimes you need a little bit of scoring, but I also can't say I'm enjoying these blowout wins on tours that we're seeing here lately. I want
right.
to I want to see how this kind of pans out, and it's just starting to become a trend where people are like, it's not coming down to like two or three strokes. We're talking about
Just running away with
five,
it.
6, 7, and it's like not even any kind of contention on the final days of tournaments. And this has happened. We saw it last week in the Open. We saw it 2 times this week professionally.
Yeah,
So it's starting to become, and there's been more. Like you go back further. So I don't know. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. Seeing if
yeah.
it's, I don't know if it's a phenomenon that we have not seen in recent times, but it's becoming a lot more common. So anything that you got before we wrap up that we haven't touched on today?
I want to wrap back around because my love for the quarters, like I can't just kill it, but like Jessica, like you just sound foolish. This is not the time to go against the machine. This just isn't that time. That's all I'll say. This
Yeah,
this one time we shouldn't go against the machine. Let's 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 dial it in and let's actually realize what happened here. It was slow
a
play.
slow a slow play by a slow
That's all
player
it was.
was
That's all it
penalized.
was.
More
Let's
of
go.
that.
Let's
Bring
move
it
on.
around. Pro
More of that.
Tours keep more of that. More. So don't defend BS. I agree with you. That's a
Yeah.
great way to finish it. Every week, if you're here on the live, hit that like button for us. Does a lot for the channel. Gets more attention on this live. We enjoy talking golf. We're gonna be here regardless. If it's just me and my brother talking golf, we're for it because we just enjoy the game and love the game so much. But hit us up with the like. So very close to achieving some additional benefits through YouTube to be able to do like some super chats and super thanks. Have your comments highlighted. So support the channel with your likes, with your subscriptions. It helps and means so very much to us. We're here every single Sunday talking golf, talking about the news of the week. Again, wrapping it up, Bearded Bros Golf Show. I'm Rod.
And I'm Marcus.
We'll be back next week. Thanks for joining. Appreciate all of you. Have a good one.